aunt, Chuck, who lives in Niskayuna, and I asked you to do the podcast because I thought, I don't want to get rejected on the first one, and you wouldn't say no, so thank you very much for that. You live in Niskayuna?
Yes.
You work in Niskayuna?
Yes.
What do you do for work in Niskayuna?
I drive a school bus for the Niskayuna School District.
Thank you.
I have a Rosendale route and then a high school route.
I always see that they're looking.
And I do music shuttles.
What's a music shuttle?
I take all the musicians back from music's at the high school.
Okay.
So they'll do their music. I pick them up there and take them back to the middle school.
How often is that? Oh, it's like an after-school program.
Yeah, two times a week.
Okay.
2 times a week.
Do they like you?
Yeah.
Are you talkative and chatty with the kids on the school bus?
Oh, no. I give them my phone and let them pick out music. I put it up on the speakers and they get to sing.
So you're the cool bus driver.
Yeah.
You're like Otto from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Otto Man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you weren't born and raised here?
No.
You were born where?
Long Island.
All right.
Limerick, Long Island, but I pretty much grew up in North Babylon.
And now I'm going to
South Shore.
I'm going to ask you to date yourself. When were you born?
1952.
Which makes you how old?
72.
Okay. So you're a baby boomer.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
I'm a child of baby boomers. I'm not trying to make you feel old or not, but were you a Beatles fan?
Unbelievable Beatles fan.
Well, you say Long Island and the 60s.
Yeah.
So, did you go to Shea Stadium?
No.
Okay.
I did not.
Woodstock?
Woodstock, I was offered $5 an hour to stay at the restaurant where I was flipping eggs and burgers because everybody else was going to Woodstock.
You're kidding.
Yeah, and being a poor kid, I took the $5 an hour and didn't go to Woodstock.
Tell me about the music scene growing up in the 60s and 70s in New York.
Okay, well, on Long Island, very vibrant, unbelievable. There's a bar, every town's got two bars. Okay. Every town with live music.
And that's where you would go to see live music?
Yeah, and also to play. We were playing a lot. The name of my last band was North Polio.
North Polio?
North Polio. 12 pieces. I had full horn section, violins. It was different.
Oh, sure.
A lot of Frank Zappa stuff. We were just strange.
Okay.
But we'd see like Billy Joel around 67. He was in a band called the Hassles. The Hassles.
Okay.
And his band had a big flower power truck, kind of like the pharmacy right here in Niskayuna.
The Volkswagen bus. Right.
There was a band called The Hobbit, and I believe Leslie West was in that for a little while.
Okay.
They had a huge van with all the flowers. It was the thing to do. So you'd see them all over Long Island. But like Pat Benatar's from down there. So many people. The music was great.
Okay.
And you're right by New York City. Sure. So you just hop on the train and you're in New York City in no time.
Now, when did you start going into the city on your own?
14.
By yourself?
With friends. 13, 14.
Okay, but no adults?
No adults.
A bunch of 14-year-olds getting on the LIR.
You're cutting out of school on a Friday to get to the early. You get cheaper tickets if you bought them early at the Fillmore.
No kidding.
So if you get there a little early, you get like a buck off or something. So we'd just cut out of school.
So who did you go see?
And then we'd see a lot of times Humble Pie, Faces. Allman Brothers were there. Everybody who was starting out had to play there if they came to New York. Okay. There in the Felt Forum. That was about it.
Which high school did you go to?
North Babylon High.
All right, big class.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're all
stupidly big class.
Huge.
Yeah. A through H on Saturday, and then the other half of the class graduated on Sunday.
You're kidding?
No.
Wow.
We had race riots. We were closed for 2 years.
What year did you graduate? Let me do the math. 1971. 71. So I don't know anything about race riots in Long Island.
Oh my God! We were closed. It was such a huge brawl, and it's funny. It's funny we're talking about this because somebody just posted on Facebook a picture of me sitting on the stage at North Babylon just after the school asked me because my band was half black and half white. Okay. Would I get up and talk to the student body about stopping this shit?
Right.
So I did. I got up there, and he sent me everything I said. He goes, it was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. That you were brave enough to go up there, and I forgot all about it.
When was that?
Pretty much. That must have been 69, I guess. It might have been 70. But they threw a policeman through the plate glass windows, a trooper, and
that's terrible.
It was all the parents. The parents were in there fighting.
Oh, is that right?
It wasn't the kids. I mean, the kids were fighting too, yes, but freaking parents all coming onto the school property, and so.
How'd you end up here? Just got a phone call one day?
I was living in my music truck. We all had music trucks.
Okay.
Plugged into a sign at a restaurant down by the water.
Like a van? Or like a
step-in van. With all my drums. I had a bed across the wheel wells.
Okay. Would you? And you wouldn't qualify yourself as a hippie though, would you? Or were you a hippie?
No, the classification back then would have been freaks. Musicians were more freaks.
Okay.
Only to us, people who watch bands and danced.
Yep.
Those were the hippies.
Gotcha.
We didn't consider ourselves in the same realm.
Long hair?
Yeah.
Tie-dye?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I'd wear dashikis because I played Latin drums.
You're kidding?
Yeah, no.
And now you wear a Niskayuna Soccer Club t-shirt. Boy, it's funny how things
But if you saw my basement, it's filled with all my drums.
Oh, is that still?
Some of the drums are from the 60s.
So this is 50 years ago we're talking about now. You still play the drums?
Friday afternoons in between my runs.
Yep.
That's my music time.
At home?
So I'll do about an hour and a half.
Good for you.
Until the neighbor comes over. No, he doesn't. But he does comment on it.
So I'm sorry, I interrupted you. How'd you end up? How'd you make the jump from?
So I'm sitting there literally starving.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just, I'm not making money. I went into jazz. There's really no money in jazz. Mm-hmm. So my brother called me up and he said they're looking for somebody to work at the South School for Boys. You have to come up and then you have to finish your degree.
Okay.
And
your brother lived up here.
Yeah, he was already teaching there. He graduated from SUNY.
Okay.
So I said I'll come up for a year, and I hated that first year.
Okay.
I drove home almost every weekend on a motorcycle, even in the winter.
What year was this?
74.
Okay.
74, 75, yeah. So I had a big full dress Beamer.
Okay.
And I drive home. If it was real cold, I'd stuff newspapers in my pant legs to block the wind.
While you're driving?
Yeah, on the motorcycle. Oh yeah.
There must have been a point at which you realized you weren't going to be a star.
Yeah.
Do you know when that was?
It was when I moved into the truck.
Okay.
And the power went out, so I had had a little heater in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's snowing out, and I'm on the water.
Okay.
So you get the ocean breeze coming.
And you go,
I'm not going to make it.
That's funny. So you've been upstate 50 years now. You said since 1974, but only in Niskayuna or so for the last 5 years. When you talk to people about Niskayuna, how do you describe it?
Well, I always mention that I am an old Niski, and I like old Niski the most, even though all of Niski's beautiful.
Yep.
But old Niski's just different. Mm-hmm. I mean, that neighborhood, you got 2 parks, tree-lined streets.
Sure.
In the summer it's gorgeous, in the winter, and just the whole town. And your place was a huge uptick in the town because we had nothing, and I remember when they were trying to. Some people would say, "Well, you can't have a bar in our neighborhood."
Yeah, we had some people challenge us.
Yeah, and one of the ladies was on one of those neighborhood sites, and she goes, these are some wealthy homes. I go, what are you talking about? It's a bunch of 1-car garage homes. That's what I put right now.
Right.
What are you talking about?
It is pretty remarkable around here that nobody had the foresight to think people are going to have 2 cars someday, maybe build a bigger garage.
Exactly.
But who would,
Exactly. But here, I mean, everybody talks about this place in the town now.
That's nice.
Everybody.
That's nice.
And by the way, when I was on my Disney cruise a couple of weeks ago, a couple of Buffalo fans from Voorheesville, they'll probably show up.
Oh, good. Good. You're a parent?
Yep.
How many kids?
3.
Okay. And what are their ages?
9, 11, and 37.
It's amazing, I got to tell you. So I don't know if you ever get tired of hearing it, but you're 72.
Yep.
With a 9-year-old.
Yep.
And then you're also a grandparent.
Yep.
Because you have one that's 37.
Yep. Little Leighton. Yep.
Gotcha. What's the difference between something that you're uniquely qualified to answer? What's the difference between being a parent when you're in your 30s and a parent in your 60s? How do you view those things differently?
When you're in your 30s, men, not in a sexist way, but men, you're building your career. you're working hours. You're
Yep.
working lots of hours. You don't put in the time you probably should have.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because you
I agree.
can't. It's the only way to build it. You know, I built a bar business and I built a career in media, and it takes a lot of hours.
Yep.
But now, you know, I take the bus thing because it's very little hours, and I have all the time in the world to spend with the boys.
Gotcha.
You know,
I'm trying to project myself as being a parent in my 60s,
Right.
that sort of thing. So, do you feel like having young kids around is a challenge physically, or is it keeping you fit? There's this idea that, you know,
it's a challenge physically.
Okay.
And I remember when Sarah wanted to have children, and we were married for six years already, and we weren't going to have children.
Okay.
And she wanted to have children. All I said to myself was, I can never say I'm too tired to do anything with them.
Right.
I can never do that. My age can never be an excuse to hold them back on anything they want to do.
Yep.
And I live by that.
Good for you.
I'm in the pool every night of the week, and no matter what the weather is, we're out there in the rain.
Yep.
Swimming. You know, but it's all good. It's all good.
Sounds like they push you a little bit.
Yes.
Also.
Yeah.
Which is excellent. What would you like to see in Niskayuna that we don't currently have?
A really much better pool system where we could actually have good swim teams,
Okay.
diving. Now I know we're building an aqua center in downtown Schenectady,
Yep.
which is amazing. That's going
I
to.
don't know. Actually, I don't know anything about it.
They're building an Olympic-sized pool with a high platform
Is it at
dives.
Central Park?
No, they're building it right in front of you, Schenectady College.
Oh,
Right there.
SCCC. Wow.
Yeah, the state just gave them $10 million last week. It's going to cost $40 million.
Wow.
But they're going to break ground soon,
That's great.
and that's going to change a lot of things, you know. But Niski should have a nice, you know, even on Long Island, everybody went to your pool area, you know, for the summer.
Yep.
There'd be bands playing. It was a great thing back then. I you know.
If you were going to tell a story about your life, something surprising that happened, or something that was, shoulda, coulda, woulda, or thank goodness I did. Do you have one like that?
Not really. You know, people ask me what's my bucket list, and I have no bucket list because I try to do everything I want to do.
Yep.
I don't, you know what I mean? I'm not holding back.
Is there anything left?
Because you just, I always think of my dad dying at 44 years old.
Yeah.
You know, big successful lawyer in New York, thinking the world's ahead of him. He's got 8 kids.
Yeah.
And he's gone.
Unexpected.
Yeah, heart attack. So I try to live for the day.
Yep.
You know, but
And do you think you try and do that because of that?
yeah. That affects everything I do.
Okay.
Growing up without a dad, and that's the same thing with these boys because that was a big, for me to commit to having children after growing up without a dad.
I'm glad you mentioned, because I have the thought, I'm going, I don't want to push this
No,
too
you go,
much, but
yeah.
the thought must cross your mind.
Always. Like right now, like I don't remember my dad because I was 6.
Yeah.
So now when one's 9, they're gonna at least remember me.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm working hard. I stay in shape. You know, I do everything to stay in shape.
Yeah.
Watch my health. And I hope to be around to where I'm a burden on them.
Oh yeah. I don't think that's going to be a problem. You seem more full of life than a lot of people that we come across, for sure. I'm in my 40s. What's the best set of years? Is it my 20s or my 30s? Or is it behind me, or is it my 50s? What's the best decade, John?
Every decade, the cluster is going to hit you. It's a decade thing.
Okay.
Like, you know, you hit 30 and all of a sudden you can't lose 5 pounds like that.
Okay.
All of a sudden you got to work it, right? You got to work. You hit your 40s, all of a sudden, you know, you're not healing as quick as you used to.
Sure.
All of a sudden,
I'm
you
feeling
know.
that right now.
Yeah. Then 50s, you know, things start to go. You know, whether you're losing hair or you're sore all the time. And 60s is when that's when you really say you better be prepared for 70, because 60s was tough.
Okay.
You know, and 70s it is difficult. 70s is difficult. You know, I've got raging arthritis. I take injections once a month.
Yeah.
Injections that cost $10,000 a pop. Insurance pays for it, but can you imagine that?
No.
$10,000.
No. Somebody's sitting on the beach
Somebody's ripping us
somewhere.
off. Yeah.
When you think of somebody from your youth, you think of somebody who was in their 70s. they don't look as young as you do now.
No, but
And I think that when I think of my grandparents, my parents at the age my grandparents were,
Yeah.
my grandparents looked like, dinosaurs by comparison
Yeah.
at the same age.
my grandmother looked like the old lady with the birds and Mary Poppins, with the white hair and the milky skin. And no, none of us look like that anymore.
No.
It's pretty remarkable. We age better because there's better products. I test them all out when I do my show. Keep the old man out.
Yeah. So,
Like I did.
plug your YouTube show.
Okay, it's Chuck Hunt. Keep the old man out.
Okay.
And
The idea is keep the old man out of you,
out of you.
not keep you out of.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right. And it's just, well, like I just did a thing. It's not up on the post yet, on the Hoka sneakers.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there and my balance isn't where it should be, and I see they bought Joe Biden Hokas. But he's the president.
Yep.
They ain't going to get him the worst shoe in the world.
Sure.
They're going to get him the best shoe.
Of course.
In the world. So I went and got them. They're amazing. Yeah, I went to Europe. I went to France. I went to Italy in the last year, and I'm walking all over the place. I did a Disney trip just recently.
That's incredible.
So, but that's what I just want to tell people. I'm not hawking anything in particular.
When you travel to all these places, you go with family?
Yeah.
So your kids are getting to see the world also.
Yeah.
That's great. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
we all travel. My in-laws go. And by the way, my in-laws pay for a lot of the travel. They just, they're older. They're older than me,
Right.
thankfully.
What was that like?
That was different, and they knew me because I was Sarah's boss for years at WRGB.
Okay.
So they knew me.
Okay.
But yeah, it's they're
much
5 years older. So
I'm chuckling because it's different. So, but good. Listen, it sounds like it works for you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
more than lots. What do you like best about being here? I'll wrap with that question. In this, because we do this podcast to talk about the positives in our community.
well, there's a lot of people my age.
Yep.
Which is, a lot of kids, but also in this neighborhood of people my age.
Yep.
That I can relate with. And they're in here all the time.
Sure.
And so are the young people. So I like that. I get to talk to both sides,
Yep.
Because sometimes you got to talk to someone your own age because people just don't know. They don't get it, what it was like. In fact, the two old guys at the end of the bar, when I got in here, I was telling them how my son was telling me, the 37-year-old, how they've had it so difficult, with all the market crashes and everything. I go, and us three, we sat there waiting for our lottery number in the draft to go to Vietnam.
Oh, right.
I go, people shouldn't talk to us about how bad times can be.
What was that like?
That was horrifying.
Yeah.
That was horrifying. My brother was over there during the Tet Offensive. He was sending money to my mother to send me to Canada, which I never would have done because he just wouldn't do that, right?
Right.
I wouldn't anyway. But he said this everything over here is wrong. He came back.
Everyone always remembers this. What was your number?
176, and they drew up to 135.
Wow. That's an incredible time. It's scary.
God,
But incredible
it was
time.
horrifying.
Yeah.
Well, you're sitting there, it's not good over there.
No, of
because the body bags are on the news every night of the week, And my mother built a little altar in our dining room,
Right.
And we'd all have to pray to Billy's safety, before.
Unbelievable.
And his first night back, he sat at the table. Her not thinking she buys Chinese food. Now, he just left Vietnam. She's got Chinese food. He gets up and he turns all the statues around. And she goes, what are you doing? He goes, I can't eat with them looking at me.
Well, listen, if somebody comes into the bar and they see it, what should they buy for you? What do you like?
Any one of your bourbons.
Any bourbon. All right. I'll buy you bourbon. I
Great
appreciate
talking to you.
the fun. Thank
No,
you
I
very
like
much.
it. It was enjoyable.